the season finale of the first season of Cultural Foolishness. I am Creed of Exodus Studios, ArchitectsOfMars.com, and my co-host Eon.
Coach Tamara Simone, your favorite life coach's favorite life coach. If you know, you know.
And I'm pretty sure y'all notice we are sitting next to each other, and that's rare because we are typically in different cities, but
States,
right? But this time we are actually in Jamaica together.
Yes,
on
indeed.
vacation. So we figured, let's shoot it in Jamaica.
Yes,
Sure,
indeed.
y'all hear all the nature in the background, but that's just a part of the ambiance.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so indeed. Today's episode will be another culture news, and has it been a week to do this? Because it's been something like every 5 minutes this week, it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to start with? It's so many things.
Do we want to do some special RIPs, or do you want to talk about the debate first?
You know what? Let's do the special RIPs first. I feel like the bulk of this is going to be talking about the debate. So, first of all, Rich Homie Quan.
RIP. That was very sad. He was pronounced dead on my birthday. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not what September 6th is all about.
That's really
at all. Yeah. So allegedly he died of an overdose of some sort.
That's what I've been hearing.
Which is sad because as more details about his passing came out, then supposedly his brother found him on the kitchen floor, passed out with food hanging out his mouth.
Oh wow!
But it didn't trigger anything, so he just picked him up and put him on the couch.
But he was dead already. Well, close.
Well, something was happening.
Right, but he should have called the ambulance.
No, but he just thought like, oh, this nigga was probably high and passed out or something like that. And then the girlfriend saw him sleep on the couch like in the middle of the night, and she didn't think nothing of it because, again, he was put on the couch at this point. And she got up, took the kids to school, came home, saw that he was still on the couch. So she went upstairs and went to sleep. And when she came down, it was around 11. And that's when she was like, okay, something ain't right. And then she felt him. He was cold. So
he had been dead for a little minute.
Yeah. So that was very, very unfortunate.
I know that he tried to be a little bit more positive than rappers in his genre a little bit. And I'm gonna be transparent. I'm not the biggest fan, or not on purpose. I'm pretty sure I've heard songs that I liked. I just wasn't sure who it was. Sometimes it'd be like that for me.
And I'm not the biggest fan either, but at the same time, whether you a fan or not, that man was 34 years old.
Yeah, he need to be here with his kids still.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and then right after finding out about Rich Homie Quan, then the legendary icon, James Earl Jones, passed away at the age of 93. Now, I wasn't for real upset or sad about it. Not because I don't care, but it's like
to hear, man, this gonna happen because you old, but you're not happy about it, obviously.
Right, like you lived your life. The legendary work definitely left, for sure, definitely left a legacy behind. But again, you died of old age, and I'm sure you were surrounded by friends and family, and that's how it should be anyway. So so I wasn't really upset about it. It was like, but then it's like, okay, like.
But there's somebody like so many people's childhoods.
Oh, come on now.
When I was looking at one of the posts, right, when I was looking at the initial post, somebody, and I was like, and everybody's like, why'd you do this? Because somebody put the gif of Simba trying to wake up Mufasa. He was like, now I gotta cry. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm almost tearing up thinking about it, because he's just been somebody that's been a part of our childhoods for so long. He's so dope. And yeah, it sucks, but you know, his time had come.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
He left a mark. He did so many dope things, even from an activist standpoint too. It wasn't just pure. He's a great actor. Like he really did stuff for the Black community, and he always was, you know, going hard for us too. So
yeah,
that's a loss for sure. And another person that's been a part of a lot of people's lives for a long time musically, Frankie Beverly died. Now that's like cookout music supreme and all. Dance to dun, 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 dun. Like we've all been at the barbecue, like such a legend. Before I let go. Like he was amazing. I'm assuming he might have been ill because possibly 77. That's not super old, but you know, for men, the life expectancy is only about 75. So I guess he made it 2 years older
or something. So yeah, that. But yeah, it just seemed like it was just one after the other. So,
yeah. So
yeah.
I feel like it was somebody else.
I can't remember either. Because somebody's definitely said like, oh no, it was a fourth person. They always talk about death coming in threes. It's like, no, it was a fourth person. Trying to think, is there anything else before we get into talk about the debate that has been going on lately? I mean, since we're currently out of the States, then you know maybe we're a little.
We're missing a couple things, but social media.
I was gonna say like not really. That was just a little Virgo flex because we're very much so connected to Wi-Fi. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, so it also came out that I think for the Country Music Awards or something like that, Beyonce didn't get any nominations. And, you know, people are kind of up in arms about that. And, you know, low-key, we kind of know why she didn't get any nominations.
Well, I would say 2 reasons why. Obviously, the politics of the racial stuff. But I listened to that album. It's country-esque. It's not a country album to me. You know what I mean? It's got some influences. Now, if we want to be fair, though, Taylor Swift was winning stuff in the country category, and she didn't became so pop. None of her stuff sound country no more, but she started in that genre, so they still be kind of giving her props within that. But she hasn't really made no country sounding songs either. So that's all I'm gonna say to that one. But yeah, that's kind of interesting, but. At the same time, not surprising. I mean, when she announced the country album, it was a whole bunch of school faces over there. So
yes. So I don't know. More to come with that. We'll see what happens because you know how the Beehive is. So they have the influence to invoke change. So you know, more to come. More to come.
Yeah, and you could do that.
Yes, I can. Can you get that screen? Oh, that's been killing me. But thank you. Yeah.
Little production assistant had to help out for a second with a libation here.
Is this a mocktail? This a drink? Like with liquor?
So I think it's time to get into the main event because boy, and it didn't disappoint in the sense of it went the way that I thought it was kind of gonna go. So
and by it he means the debate, the presidential debate.
So
which apparently it'll be the only one we get.
Because he's scared. He didn't want to do that one because he knew somebody gonna hit him with a sharp mind and facts, and he isn't prepared for that. Now he was prepared for Biden, Sleepy Joe, and could just bludgeon him with dumb stuff, and he barely would have been able to come back with the facts. It ain't like that for her at all. And I think one of the main things that I saw in it was she really was trying to explain what she's trying to do. Like, it wasn't like a whole bunch of smoke and mirrors on her side. Now, of course, Trumpy Poo, he's gonna say anything, and a lot of the stuff he was saying was straight BS. Like, I know I lived in America, so what are you talking about? The best economy ever? Oh, for the people who don't know what presidencies, when the new president come in off of another term, typically the stuff that's happening is based on what the previous president done. So all the credit he trying to take for the economy is really for Obama, if you want to be for real. And I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with that statement, but it's the facts.
Yeah. He's ruffling feathers on purpose, ladies and gentlemen.
So what did you think of it?
Well, I caught Cliff Notes because I am on vacation. And so, but from what I caught, then, you know, like she came with her A game. And, you know, like she definitely said some stuff that was, again, factual and definitely made sense. Like the comment about, you know, him being handed $400 million and then going through 6 bankruptcies, but yet trying to insinuate that the country was just like a fine-tuned machine.
You can't even run your business that good. Are you kidding me?
So for me, stuff like that, then I can, you know, I can appreciate and I can respect, because again, you're speaking facts. And this whole thing he got about immigrants in Ohio eating pets.
Like, this man is like a fear monger to the nth degree. It doesn't even make sense. Like, everything he says is to rile up his base with fear. It's no solutions. He has not come up with no solutions. And he's pretty transparent that he's going to help rich people like he always do. And all these poor white people who support him are not registering that they're not going to get anything from him being the president. Only the rich people will. And it don't even matter what race you are. As long as you're rich, it's going to benefit you more with him being president, which I understand why some of the rich minorities still supporting him, because they think about tax breaks. They're not thinking about the people. So that's just something to put in perspective for all of y'all too. And I found it really, what's what I'm looking for? I found it really disturbing that she had to walk past her podium just to shake hands with him. He was completely disrespecting her the whole time. I don't even think he said her name.
He didn't acknowledge her name. He just kept saying her or she.
And she said his name every time she referred to him too, didn't she?
Maybe not every time, but
mostly,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. The only critique that I'll give, and it's kind of on both ends, is that, at least because, again, I caught the Cliff Notes. And from my understanding, I don't think there was actually a clear response to what's going to happen with the migrant issue.
That is what I noticed, because he just talking about shipping everybody back to where they came from, which I don't see. And this is me being from Chicago and going to Chicago since the migrants have been there. It's not good. And we're not going to sit up here and
act like it's
cap for her, act like that's cool. I didn't like that she didn't have any real solution for that. It was just kind of like, well, that's what we did, and we're just going to deal with it, and I'm not even going to really address it now. He was addressing it from the standpoint of throwing all them people under the bus. Now, you know, every single person that came from there wasn't no criminal or mental patient or whatever. But it was some people that slipped through the cracks. There might have been those things. So it's not 100% wrong statement. Of course, he's just going to make it seem worse than it actually was, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, broken clock is right twice a day.
Right, true.
So yeah, that was the only thing that I kind of, you know, took a little bit of an issue with, because really and truly, that what I've been kind of what my critique has been is like discussing the issues. And I am not one of these people that, you know, you can put on like a fish fry or, you know, some type of twerk contest and do all this extra silly stuff and that's gonna be like, oh yeah, she that. No. What are you doing? Don't start talking in slang. I can comprehend you talking like a normal person.
Right. That's what I don't like.
I don't like that. No. And apparently when told that, then I get the response of she's trying to meet people where they are. And me personally, I feel like that kind of diminishes the intelligence of Black people because just because you just because you like ratchet things doesn't mean that you don't have an inkling of a moment where you can comprehend someone speaking to you not in that way. At least that's my opinion. Okay. Because you know what, the same people who like, oh no, you gotta meet people where they at for them to understand. When these people take their ass down there to get food stamps and link, and all of these people are talking to them regular, and guess what? They do what they gotta do to get their benefits done. So let's not make it seem like if you from the hood, you don't understand plain English, and then that people gotta speak to you in Ebonics and fried chicken language in order for you to comprehend, receive, and ultimately support it.
Right.
No, thank you. That's just not going to be the newsletter I subscribe to.
One thing I did like to just go to a positive, I like how she came up with some plans to help people as far as like housing and also small businesses. Because I don't remember a candidate being that like, I have a plan to help small businesses specifically, and the credit that she wants to give to parents for a large tax credit.
Yeah, she wants to increase the tax credit, which is good. You know, that's supported. I think the only way that works for real is if inflation is lower though, because you can't like if you bumping up the tax credit, then all you're doing is putting people in a decent spot compared to where they are, where they're super struggling.
Right.
If you bring down inflation and do that, now we're cooking with oil.
Which she also cited that her plan economically and his plan economically was reviewed by economists, and they pretty much was saying hers is the one that's going to get us in a better position, and his is going to take us even further back than we are now. Because I don't know if people remember, a lot of people, the 80s was pretty much a time when we had inflation and all these crazy things was just starting. And who do we have as a president that whole decade? Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush. Or no, it wasn't George W. It was his daddy.
Oh.
W was the one for 2000s. He had his little running amok as well. So, yeah. But I think that she has some plans. He keeps saying the same thing. Because this is my thing. I watched it and you actually sit up there and said some stuff that was relevant, I'm not gonna sit there and say I would vote for him per se, but I would be more respecting of him as an opponent. It's just kind of like when Obama was running against
who was it, Mitt Romney?
No, because he was terrible. The one before him, and he's super respected by everybody. Dang.
Dick Cheney?
No. Dick Cheney was the vice president. He never ran for president. Okay.
It was blurry back then for me, y'all.
Yeah. Why can't I remember? This is making me mad that I forgot that. I almost want to Google it. But the candidate that Obama ran in his first election was still super respectful. He stopped his Republican constituents from even saying these, oh, he not American, oh, he this. And he's like, look, I know him. I know he's American. Like, y'all need to chill. So instead of hyping up that base to be ignorant and racist and all of that, he was like, no, we're not doing that. And he was super just respectful, and he just showed that, you know what, in the worst case scenario, if he had won, I would have been annoyed that Obama didn't win, but I wouldn't have felt the way I felt when Trump won, because I felt like we might be over with after this. Now, obviously, it didn't go completely that way, but towards the end, you know, he ushered in that nice COVID everybody was all screwed up on, and was embarrassing us on national TV pretty much as he could.
As much as humanly possible.
So he had us, like, internationally, and that's kind of my thing too. Trump makes us look like a stupid country. That you're gonna elect a reality star that don't have no plans, that don't ever say anything with no type of structure or substance. That makes us look stupid. And I know I want to travel more across this great planet, and I don't want to go somewhere and they're like, oh, you're American. Oh, I didn't vote for him. He's not who I wanted. Don't worry, I'm telling
you. Yeah, I hear you on that. I do want to, before we wrap up, do we want to talk about the Tariq Hill situation?
Yes, let's actually, you know, that's a perfect way to end out, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. So, Tariq Hill, the wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, got pulled over
on his way
to a game. And now it got kind of ugly. He ended up getting thrown on the ground and tackled at some point when he was just standing, because he wasn't compliant. And that's the whole thing. It's like, now, do we condone the way he was treated? Ultimately, absolutely not, because they went a little too hard. But as a black man, unfortunately, it's just a certain way that you have to move with the police if you're trying to get home or trying to get where you're trying to get. And all of that, not listening, rolling up his window and all this stuff. That's why he got hemmed up the way he did,
and
partially.
So, you know, the report said that he, you know, when the cops walked up and said, you know, license registration, he did roll down his window, give them that, and then roll it back up. And he said that he did so because he wasn't trying to bring attention to himself.
Which was valid, but since they were so in the mode of, we want to harass this person.
We want you to do what we say, because right now in this moment we are the authority. So that's where that is. Now, one thing I'll say, because I do agree that, you know, when you are being pulled over, or I mean, just for lack of better words, when you're behind enemy lines, then you have to know where you're at and act accordingly. However, because I'm also not one of these people that say, if you just comply, everything will be all right. There are so many instances where cops will get conflicting orders. And if you do one, then you're not doing the other. And then they'll say they didn't comply.
Right.
So I'm not big to be on the if you just comply thing, everything will be all right. Because as we know, our non-black counterparts can run amok.
Look, that had been one of the other players from Miami that happened to be white, and he had did some of that same stuff. I don't think he wouldn't even got pulled out his car. I just don't.
And the thing is, if he was speeding or not wearing a seatbelt or whatever they claim, then give him a ticket and go on about your business. This whole, I gotta pull you out the car, literally pull you out the car and then sit you on the ground and handcuffs and everything, and he's literally like, man, I just had knee surgery, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, quit crying. No, that's not, no.
That's not cool.
None of that is cool, because at the end of the day, it's low-key hate. Like,
they was hating.
It's hate. This man is in, what was he in, McLaren or something like that?
Yeah.
What was he in? So, you know, you see this black man in a McLaren and you just like, oh, what did he do? Like, first of all, he has a gift and he did what you weren't willing to do. That's what people who are more successful typically, unless it's Donald Trump and they just get it handed to him, in a situation like Tariq Hill, he did what the masses aren't willing to do. That's why he got where the masses aren't. And people can't handle it. I think it was too sloppy cops, bad built cops who pulled him over.
But this is the thing. How many of them dudes tried to play football in high school and crashed out? So they hating about that.
That's why I said it's a gift.
They hating about this black man in this expensive car they could never afford in 2 lifetimes. But the fact that now, I have heard so many stories of athletes on their way to the game, maybe they were speeding a little bit, something like that. Most of the time, the cop was a fan of whatever sport and was almost starstruck or whatever, and would just let the person go. Now, is that necessarily right? Now, not really, but it's weird that they know this man is like the star of their home team. They're in Miami, and he's on his way to a game for y'all to win the game, and then they give him his ticket and let him go about his business.
If that situation would have went real far south, them cops would have been done with. And I mean like the people would. Yeah. You don't play with football, right. Not in America. And they had a bit of an accent, so maybe they didn't know that. But you don't play with football in the U.S. of A. No, but try that in Texas.
Oh. Well, in Texas, if Dak Prescott got pulled over in Dallas speeding, they're pretty much gonna be like, "Oh, Dak, get to the game." They wouldn't even got a ticket.
Let's run the sirens to make sure you don't have any.
Do you need an escort?
They don't play that foolishness.
Florida,
ladies and gentlemen, Florida. And if you in Florida, if you don't act crazy, then just But maybe some of your people tripping. So yeah, I unfortunately you see it so much that you almost get desensitized. But I still hate to see it, and I definitely think that I know one of the cops is on administrative leave or something like that. I think that there needs to be more. Now, really and truly, if I'm being honest, I feel like even if the cop gets fired, then somebody else will just hire him.
Oh yeah,
but
that's a different district.
But you need to be in the jam for a little bit.
Yeah,
that'll make me feel better. You need to be in the jam for a little bit because this whole thing that unfortunately not all but some cops have where they abuse their authority, then it's gotta stop.
And it's been happening.
Forever. And now because of the dash cams, then we see it. But you would think that seeing it would reduce it. And it probably does.
Right.
It probably does.
But it's still some people that just I don't care. I'm still about to be trash, basically, in a nutshell. But
yeah.
It sucks, but hopefully, one thing I did like after the whole thing, when he did get to the game, one of the touchdowns that he ran, his teammate pretended to handcuff him. I was like, ugh, trolling these fools, because somebody got suspended.
Yeah, they on administrative leave. They
just do that so
that exactly.
But I will say this: at the end of the day, while the reaction was wrong, it didn't even have to escalate to that point if he could have handled that in a different way.
And really, the job of the police is to de-escalate.
Right.
And that's what it's supposed to be. De-escalation would have looked like, okay, I recognize you. You didn't exactly follow orders, but I'm not in any imminent danger right now. So here's your ticket.
This dude play football
here's
professionally.
Your ticket.
He's not going to do nothing to y'all.
And it's not about giving him any special treatment, because we said give him the ticket. No one said don't even give him a ticket and just let him go. No, give him a ticket just like you would do someone else and let him go on about his business. It's not that deep. But you're bored and you need something to make the time go by and you want to feel like you're more important than you are. You're not.
You're not. You're just somebody who crashed out in high school and now you had to be a cop. But yeah, you know, it's been an eventful week.
It really has.
And I feel like some of the culture news we did, it would be stuff going on, but not this much. Like this was easy
was very
to
event filled
and be able to speak on a bunch of different things.
For sure.
Yeah, because this was a doozy.
It was a doozy.
But on that note, we are going to end it here. This has been Culture Foolishness Season 1. We're going to take a little break, but we will be back.
Plus, y'all gonna get these power recaps, so don't even trip about that.
We coming.
Yes.
Don't worry. We ain't going nowhere. We just chilling on this for a second. But power is in full effect. We haven't dropped the one for episode 1 yet, but it will come.
Well,
probably
6.
Well, 6. I forgot that was a mid-season finale, but
it's
we'll probably end up doing 6 and 7 kind of close together just to make up for that. So. We here, but thank you for watching and listening this season, and we will be back. I am Creed of Exodus Studios, architectsmars.com, and my co-host Eon.
Coach Tamara Simone. If you know you.
Peace.
Peace.